1 minute. So the only positive with this is that you can see all the things. You don't have such long lines to read, but we can just make it bigger and those short lines anyway. So it is just about common executables, or just and just. It is that. We can RDP to the machine, it says. So I'm kind of thinking we will RDP. So I'm going to minus this. And let's TTS this section. And I will read the bits that are the most important.
aims to help you know and understand what normal behavior within a Windows
It's probably just allergies. I don't think I'm sick.
Will help you identify malicious processes running on an endpoint. The Windows operating system is the most used in the world, whether people like it or not, and the majority of its users don't fully understand its interworkings. Users are simply content that it works, like anything complex, such as a car. It starts, and you can drive from point A to point B. Now regarding computers, if they can surf the web, read/answer emails, shop, listen to music.
Also, I had a thought.
It took a long time for users to grasp the need for antivirus programs fully. Only when one of their essential everyday computer functions is disrupted is when antivirus matter. Antivirus was enough over 5 to 7 years ago, rough estimate. Time changes everything. Malware and attacks have evolved, and antivirus is no longer enough. Antivirus has struggled to keep up, solely based on how it is designed to catch evil.
Oh, sorry.
Today antivirus is just one solution within the layer.
There's my keyboard there.
New security tools, such as EDR, endpoint detection and response, have been created because antiviruses cannot catch every malicious binary and process running on the endpoint. But guess what? Even with these new tools, it is still not 100% effective. Attackers can still bypass the defenses running on the endpoint. This is where we come in. Whether you're a security analyst, SOC analyst, detection engineer, or threat hunter, if one of the tools alerts us of a suspicious binary or process, we must investigate and decide on a course of action. Knowing the expected behavior of the systems we have to defend, a Windows system, in this case, we can infer if the binary or process is benign or evil. The machine attached to this task will start in a split screen view. In case the VM is not visible, use the blue Show Split View button at the top right of the page.
So we TTS that bit, then we have the connection information. Let's just copy this. Oh my god, copy is on the top. And I'm gonna open a little notepad and paste that in. And I should make a dark mode notepad. Have to finish that. Get started. And I'm gonna read it.
Is a built-in GUI-based Windows utility that allows users to see what is running on the Windows system. It also provides
Meanwhile, we can multitask, right?
Process utilizes CPU and memory. When a program is not responding, Task Manager is used to kill the process. We'll give a brief overview if you're unfamiliar with Task Manager.
This is good, right?
Right-click the taskbar.
You can do two things at a time.
Select Task Manager, as shown below. Task Manager.
I want to start the fan because it's warm. It's also warm outside, so getting air in or out somehow. It's the same temperature.
Task Manager, more details. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. Notice the 5 tabs within Task Manager. By default, the current tab is Processes. Note, if you're running Task Manager on your Windows machine, you might see additional tabs. As shown above, you may notice the processes are categorized as follows: apps and background processes.
Actually,
that is not visible in the above image is Windows processes. The columns are very minimal. The name, status, CPU, and memory are the only ones.
So I have these.
To view more columns, right-click on any column header to open more options. Task Manager Actions. Task Manager View. The view looks a little better. Let's briefly go over each column, excluding name, type. Each process falls.
So I don't think I'll ever use it now, you know?
Or Windows process. Publisher. Think of this column as the name of the
so let's just cut it and solder on those. So we have both 2 cables instead. Because I was thinking of making one because we have these connectors. But, you know.
In the above image, command line, command used to launch the process.
Gosh.
CPU, the amount of CPU, processing power.
All the flyers are here still. I just put tablets bag on top.
Whether you're troubleshooting or performing analysis on the endpoint. Let's move to the details tab. This view provides some core processes that will be discussed in this room. Sort the PID column so that the PIDs are in ascending order. Task Manager process details. Add some additional.
Yeah, I kind of remember.
Good columns to add are image path name
We
and
did
command line.
learn something
These
from
two
this,
columns can quickly
actually.
alert an analyst of any outliers with a given process. In the below image, PID 384 is paired with the process name sfos.exe, a Windows process, but if the image path name or command line is not what it's expected to be, then we can perform a deeper analysis of this process. Task Manager process details, 2. Of course, you can add as many columns as you wish.
Yeah, I
Adding
want
the
to
columns
have
correctly to your
the
current task is recommended.
thingy
Task
that
Manager is a powerful
clips
built-in
off
Windows utility but lacks certain important information when analyzing processes, such as parent process information.
the
Please add a key
plastic.
column when
I
identifying a
wonder
file.
if my hubby
Task
borrowed that
sfos.exe.
too.
If the parent process for PID
Maybe.
384 is not services.exe, this will warrant further analysis. To further prove this point, where is services.exe? Task Manager
I'll
process
go
details,
check.
3. Based on the above image, PID for services.exe is 632. But wait, one of the sfos.exe processes has a PID of 384. How did sfos.exe start before services.exe? Well, it didn't. Task Manager doesn't show a parent-child process view. That is where other utilities, such as Process Hacker and Process Explorer, come to the rescue. Process Hacker. Process Hacker. Process Explorer. Process Explorer. Number 4.
Yes.
We'll use Process Hacker and Process Explorer instead of Task Manager to obtain
Tom.
information about each Windows process. As always, it's encouraged that you inspect and familiarize yourself with all
Ska jag
information
stänga
available
fönstret?
within Task Manager. It's a built-in utility that is designed
Jag
to automate
behöver den
analysis.
bara.
You might find yourself in a situation where you
Ska
can't
ben.
bring your tools to the fight and rely on the tools native to the system. Aside from Task Manager, it would be best if you also familiarize yourself with the
Just one of
command line
these.
format of obtaining information about the running processes on a Windows system, task list, get process, or PS, PowerShell, and UMIC.
Hack the box room, right? So that was repetition. We have
It was
one
37
more.
C yesterday, supposed to be the same or warmer. 100% humidity.
Yeah, I don't get that humidity thing. I mean, it is not that it's. I guess it's 100% of what air can take. Huh? At a certain temperature. I don't know at all how they count. But you're not swimming, right? That's 100%
It's
water.
so thick outside.
Yeah, yeah. I don't want to go there. It's like a sauna with lots of water.
I was swimming in
Though
sweat
it's not
yesterday
80
lol.
degrees. Yeah, yeah, but. So.
The first Windows process on the list is System. It was mentioned in a previous section that a PID for any given process is assigned at random, but that is not the case for the System process. The PID for System is always 4. What does
Well,
this process do exactly?
let's get some
The
solar on
official
this one
definition
too.
from
But
Windows Internal
let's
6th edition. The
start
system process
giving it
ID 4, is
some
the home for a
thoughts.
special kind of thread that runs only in kernel mode system thread. System threads have all the attributes and contexts of regular user mode threads, such as a hardware context, priority, and so on,
So
but the difference
actually,
is
the
that they run only in
cable
kernel
is
mode
in
and
the
secure
way
code loaded in
of
system
the.
space, whether that is in ndisernal.exe or in any other loaded
Mm.
device driver. In addition, system threads don't have a user process address space and hence
So
have
I
difficulty
wouldn't have
accessing
had
storage
this
from
many
operating system memory,
things on my
such as write or
desk if I
non-write
had
tools.
planned this.
What is user mode? Kernel mode. Visit the following link to understand each of these. Now, what is normal behavior for this process? Let's use Process Explorer and view the properties of the system. System properties. Image path, n/a. Parent process, none. Number of instances, 1. User account, local system. Start time, at boot time. The information is slightly different if we view the system properties using Process Hacker. System properties, 2. Image path,
So now it
n
won't
/windows
fall out
732
again,
nt
keep falling out.
strnl.exe, nt
But
or
let's
current
do the
process.
other ones
Parent process,
too.
system idle process, 0. Technically this is correct. You may notice that Process Hacker confirms this is legit, verified, Microsoft Windows. What is unusual behavior for this process? A parent process, aside from system idle process, 0. Multiple instances of system. Should only be one instance. A different PID. Remember that the PID will always be PID 4. Not running in session 0. Answer the question.
So.
What PID should system always be?
There's questions. But I think I heard that much at least. Let's do the other ones too, as we already have this. There. So this is where we were when we started now. We have TTS these while I did that. But let's just look at them quickly too. And I'm gonna pull my notes up. We also have RDB information for the machine here that we're gonna use. We have a little Kelly machine here. But notes, we need notes. And now I have a little air. Very nice. It's just here. I could have one on the other side too. So I could actually move the mic. So notes. Yesterday, so if you don't know, Red Siege has these Wednesday talks here. Uh, they're called something, but I don't remember. So yesterday there was Mary Vernon talking about wishing. So let's actually go somewhere where we possibly could have started notes for this. Windows processes. Mm. This is like the how it works, right? It's not as much exploring or exploiting, but like Windows Facts. I might have put it in my Windows Facts section, but it will be. Yeah, nothing here. Let's just check what it actually said. So introduction was the box information. Yeah, that antivirus isn't really enough anymore. And then we have Task Manager. By the way, did you connect to me on LinkedIn? Otherwise, there's a link in Twitch in the about. It's always nice to have connection with people and maybe just see an image of their face. It's always nice too. Task managers, yeah, it's about task manager, right? And I learned something here. I didn't think I would, but I learned something. I don't remember what it was. Yeah, that it actually can show the command line and stuff. I think I derailed from this a bit after stream. It's not here. And like made scripts, partial scripts, to getting better information. But that was for another purpose. I don't think it had anything to do with this, but it's just the same similar data. Yeah, it had that was task scheduler. Yeah, then I can also get all of that data. So I had ChatGPT working hard there for me. Because you don't want to make all the PowerShell commands with all the bits yourself. So let's see. We can get information in Task Manager, but there's also Process Hacker and Process Explorer. So if we search Process Hacker here now in my notes, we will most definitely just have one hit, right? And I always say, let's search for this, and then I have a million hits. Oh, process, of course, we have a million hits. One result. So now we're back to where we were. Yeah, it's in Windows, not in exploiting and exploring, and then it's called exploring processes. But I was thinking the same way then, right? So these are the notes we have so far here. Process Hacker and Process Explorer, how they look, because I didn't make anything. Yeah, here's what I learned that I didn't remember what I learned. In the details tab, add image, path name, and command line. So here's the image, path name, and command line. So they're suggesting those here. And that's I didn't have that. It's always nice to be able to see not just the name, but the actual path of it and what the command line options were. It's just so nice with a fan. It is noisy though, so if I had a better mic, this one filters by itself. I don't have to do anything. So aside from task manager, we can use task list, get process, PS, or VMIC, I should say. VMIC is, then you really don't get its VMI, right? So VMIC is better. So system. So, so this will, I know I showed this before, but let's actually start for new people, right? As we're restarting this, what we are doing is the cyber defense path, and we just started this room now, and I'm thinking I want to like a little bit sprint through the, but there's other cool stuff in this path, and they say it's replaced by cybersecurity 101, which has like almost no facts in it. This one was not a lot in, so it's not a replacement. Maybe they just said do this instead. Anyway, stuff has been messy in here too. So anyway, I want to check Splunk, OS query. I don't know what it is. Then we have the Active Directory stuff, and then we have volatility that I do need to very much to know more about, and the Windows forensics. I'm not sure if there will be a lot here. We'll know soon. And red line memory analysis. Okay. For IOCs on an endpoint. Yeah, so then outside disk analysis. Then we have the cool bit. So to be able to make malware, right, we need to know how to reverse engineer it. So that's the plan. And I'm kind of not going to go crazy deep on them, and I might TTS stuff instead of just reading everything. I usually just read everything. I read everything. So, what is kernel mode? There's a link. All the links, we can always open them at least. Since my throat did feel a bit like off today, I was thinking of getting tea, but I got this instead. Red Bull instead. So I'm thinking, let's just go
The
and
first Windows process on the list is system.
check
It was mentioned in the
double
previous section that a
things.
PID for any given process is assigned at random, but that is not the case for the system process. The PID for system is always 4. What does this process do exactly? The official definition from Windows Internal 6th edition. The system process, process ID 4, is the home for a special kind of thread that runs only in kernel mode, a kernel mode system thread. System threads have all the attributes and contexts of regular user mode threads, such as a hardware context, priority, and so on, but are different in that they run only in kernel mode executing code loaded in system space, whether that is in entiskernel.exe or in any other loaded device driver. In addition, system threads don't have a user process address space and hence must allocate any dynamic storage from operating system memory heaps, such as a paged or non-paged pool. What is user mode? Kernel mode. Visit the following link to understand each of these. Now, what is normal behavior for this process?
So the minus is that I can't read it in the speed I want. So let's just skim it again. Process ID 4. Only kernel mode. And then it says system threads. And there's really no mention but the system process. Okay, this is a system process. And then the threads. Okay. Yeah, got that. Such as hardware priorities, so on, different. So let's check out the link, by the way. There was a link too. Oh, it's not long. User mode and kernel mode. The processor in a computer. It runs in 2 modes. The switch depending on what type of code it is. Applications usually have user mode, operating system, kernel mode. So, we make notes of everything, right? Runs kernel mode. The processor. I'm not really happy with saying this, but yeah. Let's see, in Windows, the processor has two modes. Kernel mode for the system and user mode for the apps. Right? The apps. Core operating system components. Core OS components. So the reason I make notes is both to remember, but also to understand everything. So if you have to formulate it into your own words, then you have to understand it. You can't just skim through something and say, I understood that, you know? If you write it down in your own words, then you need to know it. And you need to be able to make it in an optimal way for you to, right? Components should be uppercase OS because I'm not going to type operating system. So user mode. This process provides application mode. Let's TTS it again. And
When you launch an application in user mode, Windows creates a process for it. This process provides the application with a private virtual address space and a private handle table. Since each application's virtual address space is private, one application can't modify another application's data. Each application runs in isolation, ensuring that if one crashes, it doesn't affect other applications or the operating system. The virtual address space of a user mode application is also limited. A process running in user mode can't access virtual addresses that are reserved for the operating system. Limiting the virtual address space of a user mode application prevents the application from modifying or damaging critical operating system data.
user process can't access virtual addresses reserved for the OS. But we don't want the Dutch for that. We just do that instead. Kernel mode. All code running in kernel mode shares a single virtual address space. All code. Yeah, I think I want to use the same. I like their usually I don't like what someone has written. So I copied their sentence. As a result, the kernel mode driver is loaded from other drivers or operating system. If a kernel mode driver mistakenly writes to the wrong virtual address, it could compromise data belonging to the operating system or another driver. We never heard of that happening. If a kernel mode driver crashes, it causes the entire operating system to crash. The following diagram illustrates the application between user mode and kernel mode components. Also, I make my notes to be able to have easy access for other people, right? So everybody doesn't have to read all the things I did. Whatever I think is important, I write down. So applications, Windows API, user mode drivers, other kernel mode drivers, hardware abstraction layer, exported driver support for operating system kernel, file system drivers. File system drivers. It's not has nothing to do with the with the hardware. I mean, drives are hardware too. Well, I didn't think this gave me anything really, right? So I'm not gonna copy it. So we can check out other stuff. This is aimed at driver developers. So maybe we shouldn't go into all of this now, but quickly continue. But I want that.
Well, the diagram seems more confusing with what's written in the article.
Yeah. So it was not helpful. Probably if we read all of this, we will understand their diagram, right? And I might, but not right now. Actually, let's click this thing. And I can't. So let's click back to this one, and then I'm gonna put it. No, this is so annoying. So when I have this mode, F11, this isn't showing, right? So can I make it show somehow? So this obviously doesn't do it. Always show, but you're not showing it. So I can't affect that. So I want to drag it to my reader, which is quite full, but hopefully I will end up there. Maybe I should make my RSS feed newsreader actually grab my links here and read them for me too. Make a special script for that. We have a Python script that does that. So, oh, it's so nice and cool here now. The fan is in the perfect place. It's just ahead, just in front of me here. So you can see how tiny it is. It's just enough to move the air around a bit, not like painful wind. Anyway, let's continue. So, there's a link. Now, normal behavior for this process. Let's use Process Explorer to view the properties of the system. So we're in System Properties Image. So it doesn't have a parent, and the user is in the authority system. But I want to actually see this myself, right? I don't just want to see their screenshot. So what if we go to Task Manager? And it's bright white light. I'm sorry. I have Windows. Guess what version? I'm not doing 11. So this is probably nice and dark in Windows 11 though. But there are so many things that are so annoying. Processes. So I guess we scroll down and see where we can find system. Should just sort all of them on name. So it is doing stuff. I guess it will always be doing stuff, right? So if we go properties on this is not where they are, right? They're somewhere else. So they are in image. So what if we do advanced? We just have this. Let's just do permissions. Yeah, so how do we find this? Do we have to go, yeah, Process Explorer. We have to go Process Explorer. I don't have it,
They are
I
viewing it
think.
using Process Hacker.
It's Process Explorer, but they seem very similar. Yeah. Did I install it? That's the question. So we can use the VM we have, right? Oh yeah, it's just internals. So very huge file to download, right? Okay, it's just a few files in a zip. And just 7-zip, extract the Process Explorer. Yeah, and this is what we got. I just wanted to make it a little tinier, right? So we have a normal 64 and 64A. Oh, whatever, let's do 64. We agree with them. Oh my goodness. What do you think about the
That
size?
is for ARM-based devices, I think.
Yeah, but shouldn't they have a totally different set? Maybe not, maybe not. I was thinking A might be that, but it doesn't sound like it should be the same file even. So we need bigger text. This is not useful. So first of all, we always start control scroll, nothing, but it's Windows, so symbols, colors, font. Here we go. So it's 8 points. And yeah, so maybe we want another font, but let's try 20. It's quite big in 20. It could be okay. So there. And here we can see all of the processes that are running on this one. So NVIDIA is doing some stuff there. Yeah, so when I was why didn't this expand? So we're not allowed to see the full name. Well, OBS is doing quite a lot. Also Chrome. SpeakerBot, OneDrive. Sammy is what I use my phone control. So let's look at Firefox, alright? So we have a normal process. Oh gosh. Yeah. Yeah, I thought so. This doesn't actually make it bigger. So this is meaningless to change only the font here. So let's actually restart it because you never know. Maybe we're lucky. And it actually resets stuff when it restarts. And when we click something, it actually opens with a bigger font. Nah. Yeah, I'm not gonna dwell on that too long, right? We need to continue. So all the things, let's do whatever. That's a normal user process that I started. I want a normal one. So Firefox is good. So I'm just moving that out of the way, and let's see if we can open two at the same time. I do have a zoom. I just realized I have a zoom. I can zoom. I'm supposed to be able to zoom at least. No, the zoom doesn't work. No. Well, let's see if we can open two at the same time. Can, so we can have two. So I can hardly see this myself, and I want my streams to be visible. I'm gonna need glasses for this, because if I go this close, I won't see anything. So this one, of course, has a little icon. This one wouldn't need one. There's no version anything. Here we have the file name. There's no file for system. No command line, no directory, no auto start location. No parent, as it's the first one, right? User, we don't have permissions to see the user. So maybe I should have started this as admin. We can do that quickly later. Also, the image has no bits or anything. We can click verify here. This one's just gray. What happens if we do verify? Verified. Okay. Here is where it typed my little Zoom character. Let's try once more. No. So that's what I use for Zoom, because I never use it otherwise. So my eyes don't like it. Also new information down here, which is depth status. Oh, okay. ASLR, control flow guard, enterprise context stack protection. So stack protection is disabled in Firefox, okay. So, anything else we want to check? Let's go back to the page. Oh gosh, 1.5 hours already. Since I will have notes on this, right? We're going to put it here as I have it already. That was the example. So, so if we had permissions, we would have seen NPS for the system. And let's quickly start it as admin. I guess it goes black for you guys, right? Yeah.
Well, if we see the system process in Task Manager, didn't we notice it had this kernel.exe something, so that should be the image path, right? I don't know, maybe I'm wrong.
By the way, did I keep one up? So, system. Of course, let's expand the stuff here. Here's command line. I don't see the command line. Oh, here, it's just blank. Process name. So NTO is kernel.exe is the process name. So what does it have? Oops. We kind of want status. Maybe time. Windows process. Yeah, so let's scroll up to the normal ones, right? Background process, Windows process, app. So are all of these, are these all in kernel mode? I don't think so. These are all the drivers and everything. I don't know. I don't have an answer for that. If you do, tell me. So, how many of these? Just one now. So let's close that. No, no one open. Yeah, this looks so odd because it looks big. And then we open with this. So we know that this is the one open with administrator. And then we right click system and look for properties. And now we can see anti-authority system, right? It is just mega tiny. So it says anti-authority system at least. Yeah. So this would be the opportunity to install the process hacker instead and see if it is better with font sizes, because this is useless. Let's close that. Yeah, let's, in case we need it again. So the information is slightly different from the system properties using process hacker. Now we're in the hacker instead. In the kernel and system. And here we have a file name too. And it also has answers on the DepASLR and so on. Clicking the one X. What is usual behavior for this process? Let's actually start where we were. Technically, this is correct. We notice that process hacker confirms and legit verified Microsoft Windows. What is the usual behavior for this process? Current process aside from system idle process 0. Oh, right, it had system idle as a parent. So idle is even further up then. So, multiple instances of system. It should only be one instance. A different PID. What? Okay. So if we see a system process that have anything of this, then it's unusual behavior. Okay, I get it now. So a pair process, so it's okay with system idle, but there shouldn't be anything else. And there should only be one system, and it should always be process ID4. Not running in session 0. Did it actually mention this anywhere where we could see? I don't think so. We already answered the question there, so let's continue. I'm going to make oh gosh, my keyboard has the goo too on it, and it's sticky, so I shouldn't have had it at all close by when I was soldering. Just a sec. I think there's actually jam here too. Oopsie. So gone. Oopsie. So SMSS. .exe, and I'm writing it so we can make some notes on this too. This is a session manager subsystem. This process is also known as Windows Session Manager. So I'm just pasting it like this. Responsible for creating new sessions. It is the first user mode process started by the kernel. So I'm actually going to copy this too. And I think I will actually turn off the fan for a bit because it's starting to be a bit cool. It's still 29 in here, or rather it is 29 now, it's going up. This process starts the kernel and user modes of the Windows system. You can read more about NGarchitecture here. The subsystem includes 132 cases, kernel mode, win.dll user mode, and CS. So, unlike most of the sentence, I think we'll just steal that. And we're going to make this a header because I want more information here. And we're going to delete bits instead. And make sure that we understand it totally. This process starts kernel and user mode. And I'm like colon includes. So we got the kernel over the kernel thing. SMSS exe starts CSRSS Windows subsystem and win init exe. So it doesn't just, this is what it includes, but this is what it starts. And win init exe in session 0, an isolated Windows session for the operating system, and CSRSS exe and the winlogin exe for session 1, which is a user session. The first child instance creates child instances in new sessions. Again. So also starts this. So that's the next point. Okay. So now we get more information about the sessions, right? They just mentioned it before. They didn't actually say what it is. So let's put something about here. Sessions. And this is a session manager, right? So it's no. Session 0. I'm moving it because it is unrare after all, right? But that's how we make it tinier. So session 0, and then we actually, right, gonna copy this again. So I'm not gonna miss anything. I don't want to make it quicker on account of losing information. So if there's a lot of information, and this is like a bit complicated, right? Oops, delete. There. Session 0 is an insulated Windows session for the system. And those are things run in it. And then we have session 1. It is the user session. So now later, like, how does this differ from the modes? Is this the same thing as it sounds? So let's continue making sure we understand all the things. The first child instance creates child instances in new sessions. Child instance of what? So they just mentioned session 1 last, but they had a sentence with both in it, right? First child instance, what? Do they mean these as children of this? Uh, Or does it mean that the first of these that happens to be started here in create session 0, done by SMS's exe copying itself into the new session and self-terminating? Okay, so it's like forking itself there. And yeah, I guess we need to read this, but not now, right? I can TTS that when I make food for the kids or something. So now they get more details. And this is what I already wrote down. So CSRSS, client server runtime process. Should we steal the images maybe? Because these might actually be useful. And we can also see that they're all run by the authority system, of course. So WinLogon is one of those things you kind of remember already from Windows 3.3, just 3, or Windows 2 or something. I'm not gonna derail and Google that now, so we're gonna focus a bit. I'm just gonna type the names because Win init. So it says Windows subsystem client server runtime process. So so obviously that is what this stands for. Client service runtime process, right? So maybe we should have this first. A client server runtime process. And maybe a double parenthesis. And winit exe Windows start up application. All of these things are great to know, you know. So we don't want to miss. And then we already know that they are in session 0, so we don't need to do this again. And obviously they're run by anti-authority system. And then we have okay. So when the same names, or rather this one is the same file in, I guess these are the modes, but hopefully they'll tie it together. As above, better than doing the same text because we need to point it out, right? Windows logout process. So what if these were named stuff? I wonder what first version of Windows I was using. I remember them when they translated DOS to Swedish was DOS 5, and I was so annoyed because suddenly we had Swedish in DOS. That was annoying. I don't know why. Maybe it's wrong even. You know, it's those things you remember from when you were a teenager. Any other subsystem listed in the required value? Or if it was before. I don't think so. So now I'm curious in which session they're launched. Debug Windows Session Manager. Yeah, so now they're thinking blue here. It's what is normal? What is normal? It's all the time here. We're in the cyber defense path. Any other subsystem listed required value? So then here it is, required, right? Any other? I would say all. Uh, so let's connect this line to this instead. So here it actually states that this is user mode, right? Kernel and user modes, comma, includes colon and make it easier to read. So, and then this one is where we continue here and here. So that means that this is all user mode because it starts, yeah. Yeah, this is all that time. And it also said, just scrolling up a little bit, the first child instance creates child instances in new sessions done by SMS.exe, copying itself into a new session and self-terminating. So also, we can't forget that this actually starts this, right? So did it say any of this kind of details here? since I wasn't reading all of it. Yeah, it kind of was, right? So the reason is because it says system 2, this one. That's how I read this. But it could also be like system, and this is a part of system. So arrow is not the best. So this starts this. Is that how we read it? And now I want to know the ones and zeros here, how it actually works in detail in the boot process. And we don't have that here, so let's continue. I'm not going to derail myself here. So, what could we possibly need more? Let's copy this sentence and edit it. Let's make user mode here, because I'm assuming, and it kind of says already, right, that this is user mode. And that's what it starts here. Let's add a question mark here, because I don't know. It's a guess. Any other subsystem listed in the required also starts. Subsystems. Maybe that's what they mean with the arrow. This is a subsystem, or these are subsystems. Machine expiring soon. I've been too much on Hack the Box. I'm not used to stuff expiring. We haven't touched the box. Maybe I should have let it expire. We haven't even connected to it. So the reason we do this is to learn a lot of things, right? It's not to finish the room quickly, which I kind of said I wanted to finish it quickly, but not when there's good information here that we can gain. I'm not losing knowledge. I'm not missing stuff. System subsystems. It's also there. We don't need. So yes, I do subsystems. Now we actually know it's called that. Set as required. That. So we see the information here that this one has the parent system. And I'm adding this to my notes. Or should we just italics it and skip these? Because it's lots of parentheses. One master instance in child instance per session. But how many sessions are there? The child instance exits after creating the session. Okay, okay. So I think this is, we need to dig more into this to be able to understand the details there. I'm just gonna copy from my notes here and log on. What is unusual? Things to see if we are Bluetooth. A different parent processing system. The image path is different from image path. So another file with the same name being run. More than one running process. Children self-terminating exit after each new session. The running user is not a system user. Unexpected registry entry for a subsystem. Okay, so let's check more into these files now, because it's not just CSRSS. We have Win in it. And here we see this. I'm assuming that this one is the parent of this, and that's how this works, right? Yeah. So we just wrote the system as the parent, right, of this. And we know that though this parents should be this one. So they didn't write that out. So I think I'm gonna go do a quick check on the family, as it's 1930 already. But it will just take 2 minutes, I'm sure. Maybe I do need some dinner later too. But I ate lunch at like 15. I'm just gonna go check for them now. Hello, boys.
Data says.
Hey.
Able 443 says, I'm gonna leave now, it's 11 PM here. See you later.
Back. Took the opportunity to go to the bathroom too. Sorry. So, I'm actually a little bit cold now. So it's just 28.6. But I think it's cold wind, 23 degrees coming through the window here a little bit. So let's continue. So client server runtime, subsystem. That must be it. And session manager subsystem. So it doesn't actually say it here, right? Yeah, session manager subsystem, it says here. And then we make a new header for the next one. And we're going to say what the parent is. So even if we have already had it there. What level header did I use for? So 1, 2, 3, 4. And we do csrss.txt. And we do parent. smss.txt. And this is let's copy its name. Oopsie. I have to paste shift control or it will grab the formatting. client server runtime process subsystem. So it has SS there, not P. Is the user mode side of the Windows subsystem. Of Windows. I just say of Windows. Like that. This process is always running and is critical to system operation. If this process is terminated by chance, it will result in system failure. This process is responsible for the Win32 console window and process thread creation and deletion. Okay. Win32. These are like important dots, even though I don't exactly know what it means with this. So let's do a quick Google if it has a quick explanation. Win32 console. It's used in running text-based programs. Yeah, but this is just a normal command prompt. So this, now we're talking system here. I think that just means CMD.exe. Of course, I should have done this. Win32 console and CMD.exe are two different things. Windows automatically opens a console window when the program that needs one is started. It decides whether to do so. Yeah, it's behind it, right? I don't know. They were talking about something else, but process creation and deletion for each instance. I know we'll get enough notes and that I'm not quick as I hoped, but responsible for loads each instance loads. So we'll have these explained later, I'm assuming. So I think we listed the ones that we will get explanations for exactly what they do. This process is also responsible for making Windows API available. So we're gonna add the responsible for and making Windows API available. Windows shutdown process there. So we'll add this here. Well, well, I guess we can keep Windows because it's specified that it's the whole Windows, not just something else. Okay, sure, sure. Hmm. So it's not like I feel I learned a lot about how Windows works that I didn't know, but it still feels like this could be good to build on. Hmm? But we can fill it out with more. Recall that there's one article from, yeah, what is normal. So this is for Blue Team to know how it's supposed to look, right? Maybe we should actually save these in the notes. We can copy the image. And then we have some images here too. Uh, let's put another to make it a lower level header because it's just a subheader there now. Uh, uh, SNSS.txt. So I had zoomed in quite a lot. So we can fix this. We can zoom here too. That's a little better, right? It's mega huge here because we were 170%. So, and then we do normal here too. CSRSS.txt. And the reason I write the name is because it's just above this, right? So we know that this image belongs to the one stuff above, not below. Though it will be visible in there, but still. Right, so this is started twice. Started twice. Once for session 0 and once for session 1. And I kind of feel we have to look at this local, right? So let's open this again. Maybe we should just minimize it. And maybe we will make the font 18 instead, so we can see a little bit more. So that's like the same size as this text there too. And now we're going to look at this process. Here we have CSRSS. Can I control F? No. Can I search? We can find. Filter. That's why it is control F, which is what I clicked. Oh, so that became white because this is filled in. So C, S, R, there. So we have both. And for me, the process IDs are different. So this is one of the things I wanted to check. As this one says specifically this, but nothing was mentioned in the text. So why write out the ID here? Is it to differentiate them? So for us, this one, ship properties for both, and I'm sorry, consume. Maybe it's worth it to fix that even. I don't know why I consume. So zoom to mouse, middle. That's why. That's why it can work. It only works on one, unfortunately. So now we'll be able to zoom again. Unless I by mistake click the wrong key. I clicked escape instead of the zoom button. Ooh. So let's right click this again, properties. So now we have both. Let's click image for both of them. I don't know why, because I had it clicked, I guess. Access is denied for the path. We can see though that anti-authority system for both. Yeah, stuff is. Let's see here. Parent non-existent. Non-existent. Okay, so it said that it copied itself out of the process and then removed it, right? So I guess that would be the parent, and that is the reason why they don't have this here. Notice that is shown for the parents of these two processes. Remember, these processes are spawned by SMS as exe, which self-terminates. Oh gosh, I just noticed I wrote txt instead of exe. So txt is what I write more often. Auto terminates. So non-existent later. An actual parent process. These are what was possibly used, how we can find it. Some of the misspellings to hide rough process masquerading. So like an extra asset. The user is supposed to be the system, it's supposed to be in this path. And if it has a parent process, the start time within a second of boot. So I'm curious about other sessions, as it is obvious that there can be other sessions, but we don't know anything about them from this yet. So let's copy the image. And I just do, let's say, random page. I did 1,000, right? And let's just copy this. And let's do 1 instead. What's something in my eye? So I think I'm gonna go just get a plate of something to eat quickly, and I won't even. I know what to get. So what I prefer. So we'll be very quick. Did I copy the right ones now? Yeah, they are not the same ID. What is different from this one from this one? Does anything really differ? So we might not even want to. Let's see. So this one 32 is a file. This obviously is the same. So why have both here? Yeah, they're like identical, right? Let's actually delete that one. I'm looking for show in reveal in navigation, meaning the images ended up here. Ooh, so they actually got the names, not just pasted image. There. So this we noted down. We don't have to point this out because it's already maybe the start time, but it's obvious, right? It's just logical. Uh, additional instances for new sessions. And which was the process which had PID? Copies of. Right, that won't work, right? Because it actually did. I shouldn't have pasted and copied from there, right? Then we have win in it. Exe. So let's make a win in it. .exe and not .txt. And I need 2 seconds to grab code. Okay, 20 seconds. This'll be quick. I'm just grabbing some milk. Strawberry. No, that was not as heavy as it. So it's usually me shopping food, and then I'm like just the day after. Oh, it's already finished. I didn't have time to taste it. So I'm just grabbing this because it's quick. I think this might be what they call whatever our CTF solution was the other day. There's supposed to be strawberries in this. Not a lot. So let's see. Some milk. Milk. So this is not a lot of food, but I can grab something more later. So just a few spoons. Very cool. So let's see. Responsible for launching services EXE, Service Control Manager. Yeah. So we have a loads over here. So let's make a loads. And also a parent. But I guess it'll be the same for a lot of these, right? If we use our own notes here, we find this. Well, it hopped and I didn't see. So we have SMS as exe again, just as we had before, right? Because that's the only. So we can expect to see the same terminated process here, non-existent, and the one which was for the one first of the images before. But let's just type it. And I'm gonna copy this one actually, so we don't have to retype. So if you wanted to fake these, you should also start them with a process that you terminate. Hmm? Hmm. My tummy is happy. So, I know it's slow, but it's because I want to understand all the things. It's responsible for launching services exe, LSAS, LSA ISO within session 0. Other critical Windows process that runs in the background along with its child processes. So it runs in the background, meaning it's called init, but it stays running. We'll see. Well, we just tabbed to see, right? Or did I close it again? Don't think so. I just filtered it. There. And when init is still running, I guess I should double click it, right? Yeah, I thought so. Oh, access is denied? But we're running as path access, no? Anti-authority system. So we need to be an anti-authority system. Kill process. I know we started with admin, so let's just copy. Well, services and LSAS. You kind of can hear, right? I don't know LSAISO though. So let's make a little list. And of course, after this, subsystem, right? Local security authority subsystem. Let's add that. Because I don't like when it's like there's extra letters that we don't get an explanation for. Let's just check this one a bit quickly. It might be later. I just want to know what it's short for. Local security. Yeah, but ISO. What is ISO? Whatever. Hopefully we'll know. um, yeah, of course it's critical. So, LSISO is a process associated with credential guard and key guard. You can only see it if credential guard is enabled. So let's put that here instead for okie dokie. Let's there. I don't want any bold. No bold crap in there. So the screenshot for it. So these are white, but they also have these little cute squares, and I don't want to remake this, so we'll copy this one too. I'm just typing normal win in it. DXC paste. Of
Chato
course,
says,
it got tiny.
meow. Just send an email to the ISP of my
Yeah.
family home. They need to fix some stuff and I want my own hardware there which needs a technician present.
Oh. Okay. Cool. So you can make stuff better. That's nice. So I guess they didn't answer yet, right? So you don't know how it goes. Also, we can see here, WinInit is still running, and it has services and what else. And if we go back to our little Process Explorer and remove WinInit here, because I wanted just to search, I didn't actually want to filter, right? But it's still selected now. So we can see services exe, and this is a minus. It's too tiny for me to see. Yeah. And then we have LSA ISO and LSAS. Also font DRV host. And here we have CS RSS.
They mess something up and don't want to recognize that they messed something up. So I try to fix it for them, at least for my connection.
Okay.
Seems like a configuration error of the modem which I don't have access to.
Okay. Ah. So just replace the hardware instead. So we can make these not take the full thing if we want to. Where did Chrome go here? So when they're indented like this, by the way, if we remove Explorer here, then we have like all those installs. Also, Slack is running. I noticed that Firefox is actually not in there in Explorer, but Chrome is. OBS is, all these. And there's some kind of Adobe sync. Mm. And then we have the WinLogon. Yeah, we'll get
The
there,
funny
right?
thing, I replace the hardware I already have access to and let them configure the modem to be a dumb media converter, like single user / bridge mode.
Oh. So sounds like they're so the problem is that they have bad hardware. Is that the problem? So I'm hungry. There. So I think we are done with winning it. Wasn't a lot of text here. Created by an instance of SMSS. And I copied the previous one. My god, I copied a typo. Terminates, not terminates. I guess it, if you kind of can't hear the R, right? Terminates.
The current point-to-multipoint wireless receiver acts as a router currently. And they mess something up which leads to issues regating IP switches to a foreign address, GDPR relevant, and behind that there are 2 Wi-Fi access points.
I think you talked about the network before, right? That it was a bit messed up. And hopped around? Yeah. So you think you can make it not do that? I hope it works well, and that they will be happy to help you. and not say like, no, we don't do that, or something horrible. Uh, so what's normal with this one? An actual parent process. Yeah, because there's not supposed to be one. So I keep reading this opposite, like this is what it's supposed to be. But it's what's unusual, not what's normal. I'm doing what's normal. Image folder, path, other LAN. The path is supposed to be this. It's not supposed to be misspelled. It's not supposed to be more than one of it. And it's not supposed to be run by a user. So, which process might you not see running if credential guard is not enabled?
Replace the access points to a more recent hardware.
LS9.
Currently installed hardware is from 2009-2010 respectively, and put my own router in between so I have full control of routes, IPs, DNS servers, etc.
Replace access point to more recent hardware. Yeah. Yeah, so I would never use the ISPs. You have a firewall behind theirs, right? Another router in between there. I don't know anyone that doesn't do that. I even have that for my mom, and she only uses WhatsApp. That's the only thing she uses. We'll say ISO.exe. So now when we really read it like this, and we know the answers without having to copy them, right? Especially if it's a rememberable name that I googled because I wanted to know what ISO is, but I didn't find it. So services.exe. Now we get more information about services.exe. So let's make a header for it. 1, 2, 3, 4 services.exe. And who starts services.exe? We kind of don't need an explanation that this is a service control manager, but oh gosh.
Yeah. Currently the ISP has access to literally everything if they wanted. After that their access ends right before my Cloud Gateway Ultra.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know, but people usually just let it be, right? So Control C, Control V, and primary responsibility to handle system services, loading services, interacting with services, and starting or ending services, handling services. It maintains a database that can be queried by built-in utility. Yeah. So manages services, right? We don't need to say something here. I want explanations, even if it's stupid. Uh, 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 yeah, we already have stuff on services, so I'm not gonna put it in here. Why did they? I don't know. So suddenly, from doing all this, this is how Windows works when it starts. It starts these things, and then suddenly you have SCEXE in there. Yeah. For me, it's not connected. Information regarding services is stored in registry. Like services. Service info at dude. That's the only time I want to format. So, this process also loads device drivers marked as auto start into memory. This I did not know, but I guess they are services. So
ISPs are allowed to restrict access to their supplied modems if it's Linux hardware. But it's still a bad setup that they restrict me in what I'm allowed to do on my home network. That's why I wanted to change it back to the old setup.
Yeah, they shouldn't be able to limit you. So did they also like set what traffic you were allowed to run? Yeah, we definitely don't want that.
Sorry, come again?
Did they not allow you to send all the things you want to the internet? Like limit, you had to tunnel stuff. Was it like that? I think so. I'm just refilling my food. Or was it someone else's? I think it was yours. So I know someone had that they had to, yeah, that's all traffic that they sent out to the internet was not sent. It was just blocked. So that's not like what you pay an ISP for. You want the full
They let
internet.
every traffic through, but they limit the possibilities of how I want to handle specific data.
Okay. Now I'm curious, have to tell me more. So I'm just trying to squeeze the last stuff out of this. A full bowl there, that
I
wasn't.
asked them to add a static route. They denied the request.
Okay. I think I have it on my nose. So. This was much better than I expected, actually. I thought it would be too sweet, but the milk kind of makes it not so sweet. That's nice.
The old setup consisted of PO login credentials and the device which we have access to initiated a connection to them. So everything relevant was within our options to change.
Okay, and then they made something better. An upgrade. Yeah. Why? Because most people don't want to configure stuff. They just want it to work, maybe. Maybe should. I can just like drink that if you mix it a bit, but that's not the same. So, when the user logs into the machine successfully, this process is responsible for setting the value of the lost and good control set. Yeah, we're gonna totally write that so much shorter. uh, sets DDD to the uh, no comma
The
when
upgrade consisted of adding a second access point which moved the routing part to their media converter so they don't had to install a second cable to the apartment of my mom, where the old single access point was located.
okay, move the routing part to their media converter. I don't know why they add something to move the routing part to their media converter. I mean, they didn't change the media converter. Or what? I don't need to know the details. You don't have to answer, okay? You don't have to answer. I'll ask infinite questions. And you'll type infinite. You could hop into the Discord and I can put you on stream if you want to chat. Or tell all the things. When a user logs into a machine.
Their media converter is a Ubiquiti Nano station, so it's theoretically able to do NAT.
Okay, yeah. So why did they add a rotor then? To make it do that? To rotor NAT stuff. Oh, whatever. Okay, so lest it expire, we're not using it anyway. When a user logs into the machine successfully, right? We need the successfully. Yeah, I wanted to add that, but then I didn't see it in the text, so I didn't.
They added an access point for the living space of my brother, which owns a building and my mom got an apartment in it.
Okay, okay. Complicated. So this process is apparent to several other key processes. And then we need a loads here.
It was originally a one-family home and now they split it up so my mom has a separate entrance and space for herself.
Okay, okay. So I'm just doing the same thing here. So services, we already know what services does, right? But let's keep the same format as for the other files. Even though these might be things that we hear more about. I guess we see hosts times a million, right? What is normal? I don't even know if I want to bring these anymore, but okay, let's just keep it the same. Services.exe column paste the enter. All right, let's fix the size. It's too tiny. So pipe 1000, not 10,000.
The access point at my mom's acted as a router before and is now set up to be just an AP.
Okay, so how come they don't use the same network? It's that's what they do. I mean, if it's just access point. Or was it his network? Ah, eating my own hair.
They use the same network. They meet at the nanostation on the roof, which acts as a router.
Okay. So they're just like one. There's cables from there. I mean, to there. To your mom's access point. It's not connected to your brother's network. I mean, I wouldn't say that's the same network, really. But I guess it is. Oh, I mean, it's all the same network. This is the same network as that network, too. Because the internet, right? So, service exe, session 0. Oh, token.
It is. The LAN ports of the nanostation are bridged together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, services. Let's check out our services exe here. There, properties. And
They use
let's
the same address
zoom in
space,
here.
just a different access point.
Why can't I get this to work? Because I'm typing it in the notes now. This should zoom. Oh, I know why. Because I need to be here. so we get these boring accesses denied here. So this is not at all where we are, where the screenshot was. Why can't I click the right place? Yeah. So let's just click the previous one. Yeah, this is also here. There's my fingers.
Gonna go lurk though. See ya.
Do that,
It's
and good luck.
.dev.
Good luck.
Thanks for the lurk to Bez for me.
So, yeah, thank you for chatting. It's always nice to have some chatting in here. Services. So we don't have the nice tree here, but I wanna click it anyway. So there's no search. We can sort though. Here we have services exe. So I was expecting services exe here. That's stupid of me. I should have looked at the process name, not the name. So let's go to these properties, and they are like this. What did they do? Did they extend this? No, they can't change the size. This is not what they have either. So file process. Yeah, this is not at all the same thing. So maybe they're using the other program, the process hacker. So now I'm curious. Okay, that's not what I expected when I clicked. So obviously not the right thing. We clicked prototype, but it was SourceForge. Yeah. Let's do this just to see that we get the right stuff. Process Hacker SourceForge IO downloads. My Process Hacker has been renamed to System Informer. Why not use both? I have both. Prefer. Yeah, so this is probably not those two both, but other stuff. So let's not download it now. I'm not happy with the links. So what is normal? But this is one reason why they have killed this path that we're doing, because it's not updated. So this normal screenshots are from programs we don't have or can't get really, because this is an old version. It doesn't exist anymore. But it doesn't matter. This is just information available there. We can see it in other places. So what we have is a modern program, and we can find the parent in here. Maybe, yeah, here we have when in it is a parent, and the service is where's executable. Yeah, so we don't have permissions to see that. This is a bit odd as an administrator not be able to see the path, because I'm quite sure that it's available in Task Manager that I'm trying to find. Did I close it? Yeah, because I got tired of the bright light mode. Oh well. Oh. Yeah, so it's the same thing. Subtle misspellings, multiple running, not running at system, not on this path, an actual parent process. No, this one is supposed to have a parent. I clicked up one. Yeah, I thought those sounded very familiar, right? Because it was the same thing. So let's scroll down here instead. Parent process other than, and then the same, the same, the same, the same. So these four are just the same. It's just this one that's different. Because we actually have a process that's the parent. So we didn't fill in the parent here. So we're going to do that. So parent colon when init dot exe. And then we want by colors. So and it manages services, and we can see the info there. Loads device drivers marked as auto start into memory, and I didn't know that. And that's not good. It's not really a important thing, I think. But, loads normal services. Well, the normal services. Nah, I clicked the wrong button. So, how many instances of services exe? One. So, we realize how quickly we could do this if we just answer the questions. But that's not the point. The point is to learn as much as possible. So now we have SVC host, which is an interesting one, right? So I'm just gonna make 1, 2, 3, 4 SVC host. If I can spell it. So, host process for Windows services. SV service C service host. Yeah, service SVC is just service, one word into several letters, just to be illogical and not do the same as they usually do, right? So it's responsible for hosting mentioned services. So I'm cheating. I'm writing parent service. My God, yeah, there is an s.exe, and the machine expired, so we don't have to get those messages anymore. And I'm gonna do paste, right? Yeah, that's there. That's what it does. Here. So we see WinInit services SVC host. The service running in this process is the services running in this process is implemented as DLLs. So services in DLL format. um, the DLL to implement is stored in the registry. Parameter subkey in service DLL. This is not a full name. I would put service DLL in there. So let's do the same thing as we did for the other one and just have this available here. And how did I have it up here? Service info at service DLL found, which is quite obvious, right? But I want everybody to understand. The example below is the service DLL value for the DCOM launch service. So just DLL file. And to view this information from within Process Hacker, right-click the SCCO's process. In this case, it will be okay. So you can go to service there. So we're obviously in Process Hacker, right? So let's go to SVC host. I minimize stuff. Oh, let's see if we can find something similar here. Gosh, I can't see. I have to click OBS for the key to work. So, command line. Yeah. Ah, this is so annoying. Services, the user service. Oh gosh. Yeah, I kind of want to show the script I made for there. No, it's zoomed out at least. We managed to zoom out. Let's see what the other program can do. Uh, so, in process hacker in the process hacker tool, you can right click the SVC host, process dot and go to service. So I'm just doing this dot because that seemed to be the specific service name, right? And I don't think there's a million things in there. Right click the service and select properties. So look at service DLL. Okay. Oh, there's so much easier way to find this. Like my script, I just. Okay. So should we change the stream title to like something Windows here? Right click the service. Yeah. Yeah, just gonna remove that because that was not hard to find other ways. We don't need that for that. From the above screenshots, the binary path is listed. Yeah, as it was already, right? From the also, notice how it's structured. There's a key identifier in the binary path, and that identifier is K. There. This is how a legitimate SVC host process is called. The K parameter is for regrouping similar services to share the same process. This concept was based on OS design and implemented to reduce resource consumption. Starting for Windows 10 version 17.03, service grouped into host process changed. On machines running more than 3.5 kilobyte of RAM, the service will run its own process. You can read about this process here. Nah. Well, I sold the link was just to see how you can do that. But on the key identifier K from the binary path, in the above screen the key value is decom launch. We saw that the other services are running with the same binary path in the virtual machine. This is if, in case you didn't know anything about COs, right? I should say service host. So did I start it again? So we have the command line here. So we don't need any special programs to check what the SVC hosts wants. Oh look, they even have different names here. So they have made it better. Didn't actually see this. I'm kind of used to looking at the exe file before. So now they're all named, and we can double check that this is correct, right? So the bright light mode. So let's continue. Since SVC host exe is always will always have multiple running processes on any Windows system, this process has been a target for malicious use. Adversaries create malware to masquerade as this process and try to hide the most legitimate SVC host processes. They can name the malware SVC or misspell it slightly, such as SCV host exe. By doing so, the intention is to go under the radar. Another tactic is to install called the malicious service DLL. Extra reading, and here we really want to check it out, though I know that most of this is probably quite old. So let's see. Yeah, 2015, right? So that's why this is a retired path. But this might still have information that is, at least from a learning perspective, valuable. So I know we're doing an old route today. But it's not that old, right? It is 1,620 days old. Not 15 years old or something. I don't even remember. It's not 10 years old. So, the funny thing is that sometimes it warns me that the battery is running out, but sometimes it doesn't. And now it just died. It said turning off or something. Hmm. Oh, what happened? I must have clicked something. So, this thing we will copy this as we have done with others. As our screenshots are not good, or we would probably make our own. But they just said you don't have permissions to view the path, right? Even if you're an administrator. So maybe newer Windows. And let's pipe this to 1,000, which is quite nice syntax, right? Also, I didn't write the normal thing. Normal cc host.exe. Yeah, I was totally missed the button. Maybe I put too many buttons on it now. Oh, so so here I think we should grab this bit. I haven't even cared about this one. So, run with var accounts. System, network service, local service, logging user. What? I clicked arrow up. Arrow down, I mean, and I went up. I must have clicked wrong direction now. You said it. So, address of the key parameter. So misspelling. So why wouldn't they add that in case? Just to hide it. Imagine file path other. Image. Yeah. Parent process services. I didn't add that, did I? Yes, I did. I did that at the very start. What the single letter parameter should always be? Okay. Elsa's. So there it is. 1, 2, 3, 4 little squares, and then we have Elsa's.exe, and this is paste, parent column, and winning.exe. So now I did totally wrong thing. We should have done that. It's a process in my Windows operating system that is responsible for enforcing the security policy on the system. So, responsible. So, okay wording. If we keep the R. Responsible for dash. Just put it in this format. So we keep the consistency. It verifies users log in onto Windows, the computer or server, and we're just gonna put it as login in. So too much info. Else. So we already have responsible for. And this will be creating. Creating access tokens. It also writes to the Windows security log. Writing. It creates security tokens for SAM, AD, and Naprogon. Uses authentication packages specified in So this is a long one. So access tokens. Now we have security tokens for these. Should we put these next to each other? So this is one of the sub thingies we had before. Uses authentication factors specified. Yeah, we can keep that sentence, that's okay. You can look yourself, right? You don't have to have a screenshot. So it is 21. Elsa is another process. Adversary starts. Common tools such as mimikatz are used to dump credentials, or adversaries mimic this process to hide in plain sight. Okay, they do this right in their malware, but this process doesn't claim spelling. Extra reading. So now I'm curious how old this article is. 2018. Here. So should we mention mimikatz? I don't think we need to. It's like before there when it's like we're listening to the internal look of this, right? Then they put something in that we have probably somewhere else, right? So let's copy this image. Just throw it in the notes. Normal. See, and I put this here, the text here again, just to make sure that it's obvious that this doesn't belong to the header just below. So we could also put it underneath as a text, like whatever you call it. I don't think we need to go through these. They're just the same. And it said like just before her parent process, and then what is a parent process? Confirming, I have it in the notes there. Parent process, we started with that and searched it actually in the notes. But I can't remember from when we did that too. So we have two more. We have WinLagan. And then was Explorer, right? Yeah. So why is Chrome under Explorer but Firefox is not? It is not run. Let's actually look right now, right this second. Let's show me Firefox here. What started Firefox? Oh gosh. So I can't read this without losses, but we have the zoom thing, right? Let's just see. Parent. Non-existent process. 15,980. So that's why it's in the root, because the process that started it doesn't exist anymore. So like parentless ones are at the root. Also Slack. And let's do the annoying zoom again. So this one would also have a non-existent process. And oh, here is a Chrome. Yeah, this was the Explorer. So this will have Explorer exe. So we can see our Explorer and all the sub process. And then we have a few ones that are not. Oh, do people really use this anymore? When we have such a quite nice this one now, right? All pretty names instead of just saying SVC host. And we have also the nice full house just here. Oh well. So let's make those notes. When log on. I wonder what this does. So yeah, here we have Windows log on there. Because I was like, I want my little parentheses there. Oh gosh, it just skipped up 3 lines when I pressed enter there. Oh well, parent, colon, and now I know I can just scroll down, which is cheating, right? So I think actually just scrolling up to one of the first ones and copying is the best option. Why don't I find it there? So non-existent. Ah, there. Responsible for, and this is what they say, handling the secure attention sequence. And I managed to get that bold. That's the Control Alt Delete thing. Loading the user profile. So they could have made a list. They didn't have to add this process is also responsible for, is responsible for. They could have made a list like I did, and it would have been quicker to read, right? Let's load the it loads the users. Yeah. So let's do this. So we have it indent again. There. So it actually loads that. It doesn't do the shell thing. Or if it calls it, it doesn't say here. It just says that this exe loads user shell. It doesn't see if it's called via this. I guess it's all probably a big mess. Hmm. User init. So we probably could change that too. So if we, yeah, so long ago, we used to change this, right? Like on Windows 95 or earlier. We just changed it and put other stuff there. Windows, yeah, on Windows 3 too. Windows 3.11. Like having a file window. Starting everything from there. So I need a bathroom break. You like that?
Pandatong says.
While she's gone 100 bajillion 500 Google tillion LLLLLLLLLLL. Pond.32 lick.
Translated from Indonesian.
Beer. So drinking, even the food, makes you need to go. Hi, Panda. Well, she's gone 100 500 Google billion. Ah, thanks for the gigantic. So, I was just reminiscing of when we were changing this one in Windows 3 and Windows 95 and stuff, and maybe we put the file explorer here
I've been
instead.
looking. Got 7 old PCs running for someone to borrow.
Ah, okay. 7 old PCs running for someone to borrow. So, are you running with the PCs? No, but what do you mean?
Some of these 12-year-old PCs are running Win 11 lol.
Yeah. So mine is definitely probably older than 12 years, and it won't run that, but it runs Dune Awakening very nicely, no problems, right? So while I'm streaming, so why don't it wanna the darn TPM thing, right? Microsoft needs to stop this stupidness. Yeah, I don't have a need for a new computer. I'm not gonna throw my computer out just because of a silly decision. So I wonder how much money Microsoft gets from Intel for that, right? The sales of new computers now. Another big hardware manufacturer. They all just Oh, thank you, Microsoft. You made our year.
I'm curious.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's really odd. It shouldn't really be legal. I wonder if it is legal, especially in Europe. So just for no reason, say that you need this hardware to run this operating system, and we stop support for the old one. So your computer won't get any security updates. So you have to change. You have to buy new hardware. And everybody can't afford new hardware, right? So then they will keep running it. Yeah. Hmm. So this is the last of my food, or what do you want to call it? Quite liquid. Hmm. So, let's double check everything.
Rufus to copy ISO to USB and bypass all the Win11 requirements is great.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I heard about that. Does it still work with the new updates? I heard that Microsoft made it harder for people to bypass. But that it was mostly for people that want to run those commands, yeah? If you want to just run the normal install, then you can still enter all the commands, but there's no finished script to just do it for you.
Yep, this ISO is maybe a month or so old.
Yeah, good. Yeah, I might do it. I might do it. So my kid's not very good computer laptop keeps wanting to install Windows 11, and it's really slow and horrible. And my computer, he has a new PC that he's trying to transition to, kinda, which also can't do Windows 11, which is much better than the other one. Mm. Yeah, we don't buy new hardware. I don't buy a new car. I'm not stupid. But I kind of would have wanted to buy a new
The new command is
some
start
hardware.
MSCXH local only.
Okay, okay. Hmm. By the way, let's actually do that. It's not like we're gonna do something on the VM right now anyway. So where is it? Let's close it down. There, found it. So this one, actually, we don't even have the log. It's also responsible for locking the screen and running user screensaver. Um, yeah, let's actually dot this because it said among other functions. Remember primary functions as an instance exe launches this process along with the copy of yeah. And this is it's normal and copy image and normal when logged on.exe column paste 5000 there. So session 1. Right, I think that's where we were. Or did the last one have the same? No. Then that's where I was thinking if we should grab this one too. Check on the token tab here. Let's copy that. And it is as tiny as another one. So 500. That's still tiny, right? 800. 750. I think that's about the same size. Whatever. That's okay. Windows is starting. So we have this again. Let's just quickly get through this. Yeah, and this thing that you can't press S anymore to get to the Swedish. That's annoying. So it's time to put this to the side again. And we're kind of done here, right? Current process, we already knew this. Within seconds. Additional analysis when they are created, of course. And we already knew that. What's the non-existent parent? SMSS.exe. Oops, I still have caps. That's interesting though, because I did caps in the VM, and it was still here. So VM101-Windows 11. Oh, this one is caps too. I shouldn't have done that then. But I managed to caps both machines. Did I actually? Yeah, that's full length. So if I hop that, yeah, that's interesting though. Let's do just Win11. So we have more options later if we want to. For other VMs names, if you want to add something. Like doing the same with the 2 at the end, not using maximum number of characters. So I can continue again. It's rebooting. So the last process we'll look at is Windows Explorer. Explorer ET. We knew that. Explorer.exe. Windows Explorer. I guess I should copy when my spelling is so perfect, you know. Explorer. Current. User unit exe. I just checked it, so we don't have to go back here. So I can't see now when I have Windows up on the third screen what you see, but this is good. The last process we'll look at Windows Explorer. As mentioned previously, the Win logon process runs. User indices large the value in shell. So when logon runs, which and then we don't need any value in. This is obvious. There. It's just 2 lines, so I need to copy the rest of it. So I'm gonna actually copy terminates after loading Explorer. So I want this tinier, so we're going to do a font tag. That's the only way to make it tinier in this. So font and font. And I think that might make that not work. Yeah. So when Lagan runs user index, which launches, let's actually use as it's not visible. Let's use normal ones. There. We need a comma. That looks a little better. So there will be a child process of Explorer. There will be many child processes of Explorer. See what is normal? We copy the image and then we can done. Let's see, there will be a challenge or something. There's a box connected to this demo machine, I'm assuming. Yeah, I think we were in there. We could run these tools, and we did last time. So I don't need to do it again. We'll see what it says. Image path. Maybe we're supposed to find some data or something. Maybe there's like bad processes hidden in there that we're supposed to find. So an actual parent process would be wrong because it doesn't have one because it no exist process. It's supposed to be in C Windows System 32. So why did it do this? It's supposed to say Windows 32 here too. It's running a system, I'm assuming. So why do we see this now? Well, user account logged in user too. It's not supposed to run as an unknown user. Okay. Solve misspelling to hide rogue processes in plain text. Yeah, of course Explorer is not running a system. That would be crazy. Subtle misspellings to hide rogue processes in plain text. Yeah, all the things to look for. The above image is exploring Z properties view from Process Explorer. TCP/IP resolve address. So, chewing gum to clean the teeth. What is a non-existent process from Explorer exe? I don't know what it's meaning, but as Explorer exe fits. Non-existent process. So it means what launches it. Is that what it means? Yeah. That's what it means. So let's check the conclusion now. Yeah, there's no questions. So I'm not gonna start the machine again. We did RDP to it when we started this room with the 3 first thingies there, and we actually installed locally. No, that's my TTS. Here it is. Process Explorer. So we've been using that instead. So I'm just checking my OBS is still up, even though it's behind this window. So I did personal use last time, right? Next. Checking for Windows updates. It did that last time too. Good thing I remember that command, right? Conclusion. Understanding how the Windows operating system functions as a defender is vital. We still have this box. I don't want to unlock this. I'm not interested at all. How do I get rid of this? Escape? What if I do sign in? I thought so. So, next. Yeah. I am not interested in this. I don't want it to add. So what if I do this one? It still wants a Microsoft account. Join domain instead. Yeah, so that's what we're going to do. Yeah. So let's continue in a bit. Let's do this first. I'm actually minimizing that. You don't need to see where it is. With the introduction of Windows 10, new processes have been added to the list. Core processes to know and understand normal behavior. Earlier it was mentioned that credential guard is enabled on the endpoint. An additional process will be running, which will be shine process to win in it. And it will, and that process is ELSA AI. So this process works with ELSAs to enhance password protection and on the endpoint. Other processes with Windows 10 are Runtime Broker and Task Host W, formerly Task Host and Task Host exe. Please research these processes and any other processes you might be curious about to understand the purpose of the normal functionality. The information in this room has been derived from these multiple resources. Core processes. Hunt Evil. I don't even know if these exist. Windows Eternal, so they can change the URL since this was made. And we can also see the Windows 10, right? This is probably one of the reasons that this room is considered out of date now, right? Maybe not the room, but the path. We remove the path. So core Windows processes. We did this. So let's continue and continue. And sysinternals. Yeah, I thought I was like, isn't there a sysinternals room?